And we're back for Chapter 5. Just got to get my reading glasses. So much better. Let's begin. Chapter 5. Oh yes, here it. Can't read with these things. Come on, guys. Get it together. Okay, Chapter 5. The desert. Hot, dry air claws at my throat. The light from the window is dazzlingly bright. I drag myself to look at the view, shielding my eyes with a hand. Sand and more sand. A blazing sun, heat rippling the air, not a sign of human habitation in sight. I exhale loudly, trying to blow sweat, damp hair from my forehead. My heart feels so heavy it might fall through my chest. Nothing has ever hurt as much as this, to have my hopes raised, then smashed to pieces, and then the pieces danced on by the stupid chicken legs of the house. Jack taps on the window with his beak, and the sash slides up. Hot air blasts in, like an oven door opening. He lifts his wings, stands for a moment scanning the horizon, and then flops graciously to the sand outside. Good luck finding anything to eat out there. I sniff through a breakfast of kasha and dasman jelly, ignoring Baba's attempts at conversation and her suggestions of having a hot sand bath, making sand art, or looking for scarab beetles and scorpions with Jack. Come on, Marinka, is it so bad? The dead will arrive tonight and we'll have a party. It's not a party when all the guests are dead, I mumble. Of course it is! A smile spreads across Bubba's face, and her eyes gleam with excitement. I turn away and Bubba sighs. You said last night that you want to stay somewhere long enough for us to make friends. I look out the window, my eyes stinging and my skin tight. Every night you have the chance to make friends, Bubba says softly. With the dead? I scoff. Yes, the dead, Bubba shrugs. Living, dead, what's the difference? People are people. I bury my head in my hands. Living, dead, it's not the same at all. If you would take the time to listen to them, what's the point of listening to them? My voice rises. They're all gone by morning. If you would take the time to listen to them, Bubba repeats calmly, then you would hear their stories. Their lives would add to yours and stay with you forever. But that's not friendship, I yell. Friendship is having somebody really with you, to talk to and do things with, for more than one night. The dead have to pass through the gate. You know that. So let me make friends with the living then. I stare into her eyes, challenging her, pleading with her. We can't do that. Bubba looks away, shaking her head. It's not the Yaga way. We have to protect the house and the gate from the living. I wouldn't tell them about the house or the gate. I know you wouldn't, Bubba puts her hand over mine, but it's not just safe. We have to keep the two worlds separate. That's part of our duty as guardians. What if I don't want to be a guardian? The words that have been on my mind for so long burst free. Being guardian is your destiny. What if it's not? I pull my hands away from hers. What if I don't want it to be? It is, Marinka. Bubba doesn't shout, but her voice gets firmer, like the strength of her words alone will convince me. Some things just are, and we can't change them. Jack wanders in and flops to the floor in the shade behind her chair. Birds fly, fish swim, and you are the next guardian. If my parents had lived, my voice wavers and cracks. You would have become the next guardian of their house. You would have had more time to prepare, but you still would have become a guardian. Bubba reaches for my hand again. I wish they hadn't died. I really do, but I've tried to raise you as they would have. I love you just as much as they did, and I only want you to be happy. But I'm not. I sob. Light refracts through the tears welling in my eyes, turning the room into a kaleidoscope of stars and bubbles. Bubba squeezes my fingers. You need to accept what you are. Being Yaga is in your blood, and you can't change that. If you would focus more on the life you have instead of daydreaming about the life you don't, then I think you would be happier. Bubba's words don't help. She doesn't understand how much I need to escape this lonely destiny. I stand up too fast, knocking my chair to the floor. I'm going to feed the lamb, I snap, and storm outside to get some water from the rain barrel. There's no sign of life. No plants, no animals, not even a bird in the sky or an insect scurrying across the sand. No sign of water at all, and the rain barrel is only half full. We'll be lucky if the water we have lasts a week. At least the house can't stay here for long. The walls of the house creak, and it rocks slightly, burying itself deeper into the sand, as if it heard my thoughts and wants to show me how comfortable it is here. I kick sand at it and stomp back inside to my bedroom without even stopping to warm up the water for the lamb. Jack flaps to my shoulder and pushes his beak into my ear. I stroke him and feed him some kazani, then set about preparing a bottle for the lamb. There's not much of the special milk powder Benjamin gave me left. I hope ordinary milk powder will be all right for that. My room is filthy and smelly, thanks to the lamb being in here all night. I guess today will be spent cleaning it out, and of course the fence will need building. Then there will be the cooking, preparing for the arrival of the dead. This can't be it. My destiny forever? I want more. I want to explore towns and cities. I want to watch shows and concerts, go to festivals and dances. I want to meet people. I want to make friends. I decide to call the lamb Benji, so that every time I look at him, I will think of a friend I might have had if this stupid house didn't have legs. It will remind me how I feel right now, remind me that I need to find a way to escape this life. A day goes by painfully slowly. The heat is unbearable, and although I'm exhausted after I've done my chores, I can't sleep in the afternoon like I should. Even when the sun sinks low in the sky and the temperature drops, it brings me no relief. Bubba calls me to watch the sunset with her on the porch. She tells me the sky is beautiful. I'm stirring the borscht, I snap, throwing a handful of garlic into the pot. A few minutes later, Baba shuffles inside, lifts the spoon from my hand and places a tiny star-shaped pink and white flower on my palm. It's beautiful, and unlike anything I've ever seen before. Did you find this out there? I asked. Well, I had some help. Baba nods to Jack, who is strutting from the porch, his chest feathers ruffling with pride. I ask him to find a flower for my pchelka. Baba kisses my cheek and pulls me into a hug. My head rests on her, and it takes me by surprise how small she is. I've grown so much this year that I look down on her now. You shouldn't call me that. I'm not a baby anymore. You will always be my little bee. Baba takes the flower and tucks it behind my ear. Her familiar smell envelops me. Lavender water, bread, dough, borscht, kvass. I breathe it in, and some of my anger melts. It's still there, hot in my belly, but she seems to smooth the sharp edges of it away. The dead arrive with the stars. They are very colorful this evening. Flowing robes and delicate scarves in vibrant shades, long black hair, shiny as volcanic glass. Even on the eldest dead, they had spices to the borscht and glitter to the air. Baba gives them guitars, and they tune them in a way I've not heard before, and play notes unfamiliar to my ears, mysterious runs and shimmering harmonies. The house rises and falls as the dead clap their hands and stomp their feet. My toes become traders, tapping the floor in time to the music as the dead dance around me. They're all smiles and laughter. I think they must have had very happy lives, and I wonder what memories bring them so much joy. I try to listen, but the language of the dead still doesn't make any sense. When the gate appears, an empty feeling swells in my stomach. They're going to leave, like everyone else I meet, before I've had the chance to even get to know them. Baba kisses their cheeks, speaks the death journey words, and they drift away one by one. Living, dead, maybe they're all the same after all. Neither hangs around for long. I offer to clear up. I can't sleep anyways. Baba hugs me tight and goes to bed, and I wander around the room, collecting bowls and glasses. I carry a basket full to wash outside. And that's when I find her. She's sitting on the porch steps, staring up at the sky, wearing a long green dress and scarf that are as smooth as silk and bright as spring leaves after a rain. She looks quite solid, just the very edges of her blending into the night. Meteors streak across the sky. Bubba once told me the ancient elders believe that there are souls of the dead on their journey. I stare at the girl, mouth open. You aren't meant to be here. You should have gone through the gate. I didn't want to. You have to. Even as I say the words, a question forms in my mind. Does she? Does she really have to go? The gate is shut now anyways. She can't go through. This has never happened before. The dead always leave. Then another thought strikes me, reverberating through my body like thunder. Say something else, I demand, dropping the basket of dishes onto the floor with a clatter. I don't want to leave, the girl says softly, and I feel like hugging her because even though she spoke in the language of the dead, I understood every single word. Until next week.